Hello guys, it is me Superfryer back again with another trove video. Today I'm going to be showing you the most efficient ways to get Flux, whether you've just started, whether you've already got some Flux, whether you got a high power rank, and you're just running a little low on Flux. Anyway, I hope you enjoy the video. So first we're going to be starting with the people who have no power rank. You've just joined the game, you want to make some easy Flux. Now there certainly are many ways to make Flux, but here is got to be the easiest one that everyone can do. That is mining. Now, it may sound boring, it may sound slow, but trust me, this is a really good way to get Flux. I would recommend going to the permafrost because you can collect glacial shards, shapestone, mushroom chunks, primordial flames, and most importantly, golden souls. It's also really easily accessible because you only need 60 power rank and you shouldn't really be dying there because the enemies will be doing a lot of damage. I will put the market price of each of these items on the screen now for you to see. As you can see, the one that's going to net you the most Flux is going to be golden souls, but we're not going to be focused on them because we're going to be focused on collecting glacial shards and shapestone. The reason we're not going to be focused on looking for golden souls is because we're going to find them naturally just mining shapestone, and glacial shards sell for 60 each, so they are going to be really big for getting Flux early on. Now for max efficiency, you're going to want to move fast. Slow Sebastian just isn't going to cut this. So I recommend buying one of the pinata mounts from the shop. It's only going to cost you 500 Flux and it's going to be well worth it. They have 90 movement speed, which is basically what you're going to be using unless you have a primordial air dragon. So buy one of these, it's going to only cost you a couple of hundred Flux and it will be a lot better for your net profit. Now when you are selling items, you should double check how much they are actually costing at the moment because it does fluctuate sometimes. So for glacial shards, go and search the item name glacial and then sort by unit price, but be careful, don't get trapped. If people are selling 4,000 glacial shards for about 50 unit price each, that is ridiculously cheap, but people are not going to want to buy 4,000. If you list 100 for a couple more unit price, 55 unit price, people will buy that instead. Now if you want to go more luck based, you can go to Candoria. It's a little bit higher than Uber, but there's a lot more shapestone, so you'll have a lot higher chances of finding golden souls, but honestly I wouldn't take this risk. I would just go safely and go for the glacial shards. Now if you're not feeling like mining, like it's not your forte, it's a bit boring, I understand, and the next best thing you can do is recipe dungeons. Now people will pay an astonishing amount for recipes just because of mastery, so an easy way you can net 1,000 Flux is just doing a recipe dungeon and not claiming it. However, these do take a little bit longer to sell, but if you're willing to wait a little bit longer for Flux, then this is a very viable method. Also make sure to tie the daily adventures in with your mining, because this could be a great source of XP and could help you raise your character level as well as getting Flux. There are a few main mining quests, but the easiest ones are one in the permafrost, it's just glacial shards, so you'll be literally completing an adventure while you're getting Flux. Another one is in the desert frontier, there you'll pick up the shapestone quest, which is to mine 100 shapestone. This can also be very easily done in either or. And third of all, in Candoria you will get the mine 50 formicide. Now this is mainly just getting it for the XP because the ore doesn't really offer much in the way of Flux, but I guess every little bit helps. We are now going to be talking about the people who already have some Flux and just want to flip it and make more. Now you can start flipping with any amount of Flux, but realistically I'd say you need between 30 and 50k just to get you going. The way I flip Flux personally is I buy bundles of items for cheaper and sell them off one by one. This method can feel scary at first because you're investing nearly all your Flux sometimes and you just feel like you're not going to get it back, but trust me, you will. I usually make my big flips on Tuesday because that's when gathering days and people are just throwing stuff on the marketplace for cheap just to get some quick Flux. When people throw their stuff on the marketplace, you can buy it ridiculously cheap, especially nitro. That usually goes down to about 90 each and I sell it off for about 97.5 each. This might not sound like a lot, but if you think about it in the way I do, if you spend 900k you're going to be getting 975k back when you sell it all. Nitro is one of many good sources of flipping, but recently I've been selling other things such as robotic salvage, fairy dust, enchanted wood, but I mainly focus on tentacles of Cthulhu and pearls of wisdom. This is because I know the markets pretty well and I know when it's a low day or a high day and whether or not I should sell. And I think learning the market will be the key way you learn to flip Flux without feeling scared or worried and just comfortably do it and make a lot of profit. Now when you're searching the resource you want to flip by unit price, you might see that people are selling them for cheap but in very big bundles. I tend to stay away from buying these massive bundles just because of how time consuming they are. Even though they're cheap, is it really worth how much time you're going to put into it? The only reason I would bulk buy in massive quantities is if I'm predicting there's going to be a weekly challenge that might help me flip even more. For example, one of the recent bonuses where you could reroll the second set of your gear, but only for 1 week. This meant that tentacles flew up in price. I could bulk buy them for 600 and I could have sold them for 1200 each easily. The only problem with mispredicting this is you're going to have a lot of tentacles to sell and you won't be making as much profit as you could have. One amazing example of selling your product in lower quantities for higher unit price is Nitro. While Nitro was selling for around 90 each, I managed to sell mine for 97.5 even though it was 7 pages down the line, just because I sold it in a lower quantity. Also for console players, just before the Delves update comes out, I'd recommend bulk buying as much Nitro as you can, because many people have predicted that Nitro is going to skyrocket in price, similar to Tentacles when it's the weekly event. If you're getting to the point where you have about 600-700k Flux, it might be time to start thinking about manually bringing the prices up in the marketplace. This is arguably one of the most scary ways to invest your Flux, because if you do it incorrectly, then you could end up with a massive net loss. I'm going to teach you the correct way to do this, hopefully reducing the risk that you fall into the same trap that others have before. First of all, you need to pick the correct product, because if you try and flip Nitro with 500k Flux, it's not going to work. I'd say even 2 to 3 million Flux, it's a bit risky because people will just throw it on. Even if you're buying it up, people will throw obscene amounts on for about the same as what the previous market price was. If you want to get some good practice for this without investing all your Flux, Shapestone is quite good for it because you can bring the market price up about a unit price and you won't lose too much if it just all goes downhill. In the clip I'm showing you now, it shows a very safe way to bring up the market. This robotic salvage, it's only got a couple below the price you want to bring it up to, so if you buy all those, they're in quite bulky stats, so you're going to have plenty of robotic salvage to sell, but not too much in the way where you're going to have to hold the market price up here for like an hour or two. From here, to ensure your product is selling the fastest, you want to buy anyone who has listed theirs for unit price less than yours at the same as yours. And we want to do this until we barely have any robotic salvage left to sell. Now I've shown you guys how to turn about 30k Flux into hundreds of thousands of Flux. I will now show you the best mid to end game strategies to get you very rich in Trove. I think we all know where this is heading. The 100% best way to get Flux in Trove is by selling Nitro, but there are some methods that you should use if you want to obtain the most out of your time. First of all, I'll explain how you can get there. To farm Nitro, you need to go to the Geo top side. It doesn't matter which Uber, as you don't get more from Uber 10 compared to Uber 8. Once you're at the top side, all you need to do is open your world map and you should be able to see 3 different shades of colours. There might also be a red one, but you just don't even need to pay attention to that. If you can't see all 3 of these colours, make sure you've zoomed out as far as you can on your map. From here you want to make your way to one of the middle shaded biomes, because these biomes hold underground caves which contain a lot of Nitro. When you get into this biome, you're going to want to be looking for an entrance underground. Now that you guys are here, I'll be telling you my methods to make the most Flux possible. For starters, don't buy bombs from the marketplace, make them yourself. Because if you buy bombs off the marketplace, each Nitro is going to be about 24 Flux less, and you can easily get about 500-600 bombs in just 20 minutes of farming primordial flames. I'd say if you don't have enough Shapestone to just buy some from the marketplace. This is due to the fact that you'll only be losing about 2.5 Flux per bomb. The most efficient way to mine Nitro is to go a specific route around the caves. Basically what you want to do is you want to go around the edges of the cave until you've been all the way around. From this point you want to go back into the middle and pick up all the stray Nitro you've left. The best character to use for this has got to be the Neon Ninja. I can show you my build that I use to get about 1,500 Nitro per hour. This is about the most you'll get on a non-gathering day. If you're not going to be using the Neon Ninja and you're just going to be riding around in a mount, you should be expecting about 1k Nitro per hour. But this obviously depends on your bomb accuracy and how efficient you really are being. If you're not going to be using bombs for whatever reason, the 2 main mounts that are best for mining are the Turtle Tank and the Fire Primordial Dragon. However, I'd strongly recommend you not using them for mining Nitro, unless you're in a Gander train. Or Gander trains are going to be the best way you can get Nitro. Gander trains consist of the leader and the pack. The leader, obviously being the person who has Gander, leads the pack and keeps them together. He also leads the pack around the cave, routing in the same way that I explained before. The pack's job is to bomb all the Nitro inside, and try and keep up with the Gander. Going by this method, you should be able to get around 2,000 Nitro per hour depending on how good the Gander leader is. If you're using the Neon Ninja build like the one I talked about before, and you're not getting as much Nitro than if you were by yourself, find another Gander train or just mine by yourself, because honestly you'd be wasting your time staying there. If you use this method and farm about 10 hours a day, you should be able to easily get about 1 million a day. This has been my beginner to expert guide on how to get Flux fast. I really hope you guys enjoyed it and use some of the methods I've shown you today to get rich in Trove. If you guys have enjoyed the video today and you want to support me, please drop a like, subscribe and comment, and also drop me a follow on Twitch where I'll be streaming some Trove content very soon. Soon being tonight at 7 PM, so please drop by, don't miss it.